Welcome to the Cutting Edge Convention, a worldwide movement to revolutionize your life. No more stumbling around in the dark, wasting precious weeks, months, and years trying to figure it out on your own. Get ready for valuable innovations and strategies. And now, here's your host, Marcy Peters, the Age Backward Mentor.
Hello, and welcome to the Cutting Edge Convention, Innovations to Revolutionize Your Life. I'm your host, Marcy Peters, the Age Backward Mentor. I help smart, successful men and women just like you step into a life they love and a body they love being in. Today, we're talking CBD and cannabis. This is such an interesting topic. And I want to tell you about Larry and Oksana Ostrovsky. Larry and Oksana Ostrovsky are wellness experts, coaches, and authors. They've spent 10 years in health and healing modalities looking for deeper understandings of optimal health, focusing on the power of a plant that can transform the world, and we're going to talk about that. Welcome, Larry and Oksana.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for being here today. So we're so fascinated by this topic. This is the up and coming thing. It's been a hot topic for a bit, and I'm sure it will continue to be. Could you first tell us a bit about your story and how you came to be here?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been a long, interesting ride, and one with ups and downs, twists and turns, and it's been exciting, and it led us to this amazing thing that we're sharing with humanity right now. But it started well over 10 years ago, and I was doing a lot of work online, and luckily I had the fortune to kind of pursue the stuff that I was really interested in, so I kind of dove into health and wellness and dove deep into that, and met Oksana. Funny enough, our story is kind of interesting. We've been following each other around the world. We were both born in Ukraine.
Both lived in New Jersey for quite some time, and he lived most of his life there. And then both of us moved to Vegas, out of all places, like months apart, and we met there. And basically,
cool.
Years since.
Yeah, so we found this dynamic where we work together, play together, and it's now we travel around together. So it's been incredible. We've had this journey of not only meeting each other and also exploring this thing called natural health and wellness, but we stumbled upon some really deep truths.
Really, really deep truth. And not only the truth, we kind of, whenever we approach something new, okay, what's the new, the latest and greatest, we love to try it out. We love to give it a shot, and kind of, there's so much noise and confusion and all sorts of BS online that you can find either, benefits or side effects of the same thing. And you're like, wait a minute, well, which one is it, right? So that's kind of like started us kind of going into this and looking into all the.
And we've fallen into traps of following gurus and, going down rabbit holes. And we've discovered some powerful things that it really comes back to individuality. And so we found there's, outside of what we're currently sharing, there's one thing that is most important for people. And it's free. And it can be done easily if you do the right things throughout the day. So I want to share that at the end. Because I want to kind of go through other things first, but at the end we'll share exactly what that is and why it's so powerful for health. So you want to stick around to hear that. So that all this led us into this thing called CBD.
Okay, amazing.
It's a powerful plant, so.
Yeah. So let's start with, and we're going to loop back around at the end because we're all like on the edge of our seats about what is this, this most powerful thing. But let's talk about CBD and cannabis. What are they?
Yeah.
If you want to start.
I think we could go back to kind of some preconceived notions, right? Because I think we've been indoctrinated for a long time about a plant called cannabis and how it's a drug, and it's been labeled, and it's been told to us that it's bad. And there's some really interesting things about it because it's been used as a medicine for tens of thousands of years. It's going back before Egypt and before then. And in America, it was actually added to the American Pharmacopoeia in 1850. So it was used as a medicine in 1850. So what we are selling and what we are sharing is cannabidiol, which is a compound in cannabis. And we'll go into that in detail in a little bit. But I think it's important to understand cannabis as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is a plant, Cannabis sativa L. And this plant can be used for all sorts of things. It can be used for fuel, for paper, for building material, textiles, food, and medicine. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, and the Popular Mechanics in 1938 called it the next billion-dollar crop because it was starting to come up as one of these things that we can use for everything, because there's so many incredible things that we can do with it. And it had this incredible momentum, and it was going to replace paper and replace cotton. And it was going to do these, and fuel, and like, there's so many things that everyone was excited for, but there were some people that were not excited about it. And as we come to see today, that's pretty prevalent, that business steps in and directs things in a way that is best suited for their own interests. So what happened was, there was a publisher. His name was Rudolph William Hearst. And there's a company by the name of DuPont. So Rudolph William Hearst was a publisher. He printed newspapers, and he had a paper mill. And basically, he didn't want hemp to take over his printing business because he had, acreages of forest. And he didn't want that to go away. And DuPont was, shirts. So basically, they were selling shirts, and they saw hemp was coming in to take them over. So both of them got together and said, how can we turn the tide of hemp? And they created a very, very effective propaganda campaign. It was called Reefer Madness, and basically it vilified cannabis and hemp, and cannabis specifically into a substance that people took, got high, got all crazy. And violent. Yeah, and violent. And, a lot of it stemmed in racism. There's a deeper story there that that you could go into. I don't want to get into it now, but they did a really effective job, and then that kind of set the stage for where we are today. Because after them, they basically vilified the plant and started to kind of push it down. Then Nixon came in, and Nixon had his own agenda with the war and communism and everything else. And Nixon stepped in and decided to create this war on drugs. And there was
another successful campaign.
Yeah, and there was political motivations behind that. There's actually a commission that looked into studying the plant, and the commission came back and said, this plant is actually very useful. It's not addictive. It has amazing qualities. And Nixon said, I don't care. I don't care what you're telling me. This is going to be the number one thing we're going to go after. And it started this chain of propaganda that was later picked up by the Reagan administration, just saying no to drugs and all that. And now we have a thing that is snowballed into a monster. And this monster today, as I speak to you, is fueled by three major lobbies. So Big Pharma,
the biggest and greatest.
So they don't want, they don't want cannabis to kind of come in because it's been studied, and there's a ton of studies showing the benefits, medicinal benefits of it. So they don't want that to infringe on their profits. The next one is alcohol. So the alcohol lobbies don't want cannabis to step in and ruin their good time because they're making billions of dollars, and that's what people do. Right. And then the next one, which really just, it just kills me, the prison lobbies. So the prisons are, and many people don't know this, but prisons are profit centers.
Oh,
nice.
And there's a whole industry that was created that sent minorities to prisons, and they're basically hotel rooms. So now we have an industry that is for profit, and their profits are created by locking people up for doing something that really isn't dangerous, or really, in my eyes, it's not a crime at all. It's a plant, right? So the prison lobbies are deeply against this as well. So
otherwise their hotels will be empty. They would have to let all these people out. And I would say probably 80% of the people in prisons are for the tiny crimes.
Yeah, they're petty crimes. They're minority driven, and it's sinister and it's sad, and it's kind of modern day slavery. But the tide is turning. You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And we're remembering that this plant has all these uses, and that it could be used medicinally. And a lot of people are experiencing the benefits of it, and it's amazing to see. The UK actually just
in January, I
believe, they played a little game. So CBD, cannabidiol, which is one of the components within cannabis, it was legal. It was people were selling it, and not it was. I think it was more, it was legal to sell, and people were selling it. And then the government came in and said, okay, there's medicinal value in this. And what we're going to do is make it 100% legal, but because it's a medicine now, you need a license. So now all the people that were selling it stopped selling it because you need a license, and getting a license is pretty hard. You have to be a medical doctor. So all the people that were selling it wiped out. So the game was, a lot of this is run by the pharmaceutical industry.
Well, GW Pharmaceuticals, they've done that in Australia, they've done that in New Zealand. It's basically, they're creating their own synthetic version, so they want to control the market. So it's time to squash off, everybody else who can be on their way. And, they've got a ton of money to play with. So them going after, suing little guys, no one's going to fight them. So it's kind of an easy win for them, but it's amazing though to see that UK and a bunch of other countries, they are recognizing and testing and studying a whole lot more on the benefits of hemp and cannabis, and publicly saying, yes, it's a powerful medicine. But now US is a little bit further behind, but I think it's still it's changing fast, and hopefully soon it will be widely available everywhere. I mean, CBD from hemp derived is available in US, so that's big.
Yeah. But it's important to realize that there are countries that recognize it as a medicine, as a legitimate medicine. As a matter of fact, there's a bit of hypocrisy going on in the United States, because the US government holds a patent for cannabidiol, CBD, and that you can look up this patent online, and it will show you
for its antioxidant,
anti-inflammatory benefits. So the U.S. government holds patent for the very substance that it is incarcerating people for.
It's mind-boggling.
So they're profiting off of that patent, because that patent was given to a pharmaceutical company, or a lab rather. So they're using that patent to develop drugs. And so it's like, what's going on here? And I think it's clear to see that it's really about, it's about profits, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between cannabis and CBD? Is it two different things?
Well, they both, so CBD is a compound within cannabis sativa L plant. So this plant can be either cannabis or hemp, right? It depends kind of what purposes is this being grown for, whether it's going for textile or you're going after, for example, THC. So if you're going for THC specific, which a lot of states in the US are, from all medicinal marijuana, then it's grown cannabis, it's basically marijuana plant. Hemp is grown for industrial purposes. So it's not really, it doesn't have the flowers and the buds where highly concentrated THC is, but they grow it basically for CBD, for the stack and stem. So the plants actually look a little bit different, but it is the same species.
Yeah, and I think it's important to realize that, and there's a lot of talk about the difference. Oh, you want to get it from marijuana, you don't want to get it from hemp. And the reality is that it's the same plant. It's Cannabis sativa L. It's like a tomato, right? Like the tomato could be a cherry tomato, it could be a big tomato, it could be there's different.
Still getting that lycopene.
Yeah, you're still getting lycopene. Right? So the important thing to understand is that it's the same plant, minus, and there's one difference between hemp and what we call marijuana. It's both Cannabis sativa L, but hemp is the same plant, just like Oksana said, it's used for industrial purposes, and it has almost no THC, which is the psychoactive compound, which gets you high. And that's one of the reasons there's a bit of a loophole that allows companies to import hemp from outside of the country, and because there's no THC, it's more industrial, and you can extract cannabidiol and other compounds and constituents within the plant and create a product like we have. Ours is hemp derived. I wish that we could use the whole plant and allow people to decide whether they want the psychoactivity or not, because THC, has been shown to have some benefit as well, especially, depending on different elements. We haven't been able to study any of this stuff because it's illegal, but now, because the tide is changing a bit, there's more and more studies coming out showing and verifying what people have been experiencing as reality for them, So, that's really, really good to see. And now there's, thousands of studies showing the efficacy of these different compounds.
What's crazy also, like US is one of the biggest users, let's say, of hemp products, whether it's hemp shirts, hemp seeds, hemp protein, whatever you name it. But it was up until maybe about a year ago, it was illegal to grow hemp in US. So all the hemp has to be imported in. It's like, what's going on here, Now they're allowing slowly to some states to finally grow hemp and extract CBD from hemp grown inside the United States. But it's only in the states where medical marijuana is legal. So there's still walls, kind of coming up, but they are, more walls are coming down. So
yeah, that's so interesting, because hemp seed is one of the highest protein sources for vegan protein.
Yep, vegan vegetarians, exactly.
Yeah, the oil. I mean, the whole plant is just it's a godsend. I mean, really, it's one of these plants that's like it's such a powerful thing. Like the whole plant is just so powerful that for us to allow it, as a community of human beings, for us to allow some corporations to dictate what's what, it's painful to see and be part of.
Yeah.
But luckily.
This is a topic to be aware of. This is, really important to know and understand. So I'm curious, what are the benefits of specifically CBD or perhaps the whole plant?
Yeah.
Well, first we want to mention there is a regulatory system in our body called Endocannabinoid System. And it only been discovered not that long time ago, but it's one of the major ones as well. So it regulates literally everything from your immune system, oxidative stress, cancer development, sleep, inflammatory response in your body. I mean, literally everything. So it kind of works like, okay, when you take CBD, which is cannabinoids, that go literally like key and a lock within our endocannabinoid system. It literally uses CBD to work. So when you put CBD into your body, the system goes, all right, where do we need the help? Have you been stressing a lot? Okay, let's balance this out. I mean, it just goes to work, So taking this powerful medicine, a lot of people see benefits like this. So just because the endocannabinoid system and its power within our body.
Yeah. And that said, I don't want to say that it's a panacea, because, everyone is different, right? So it affects people differently. For some people, it turns the knob, quickly. For other people, a little bit longer. For other people, not at all. And, that's something that we understand too, being in this industry for so long, is that health, you got to the state that you're in or condition that you're in after a certain period of time. And people want like a pill, right? They want that they want that magic bullet, and they want that like, boom, I want to take it, and then tomorrow.
One pill, one time.
Yeah,
just one time, exactly.
And unfortunately, it doesn't really work that way.
Yeah.
In some instances, it could turn the knob, you can feel better, and it could kind of jumpstart things. But, believe me, like if you're taking any compound, any substance, and you're eating McDonald's, and you're sitting on the couch, and you're not doing the things that need to be done to, impact health, it's not really going to do much for you, So
we always encourage people, become the guru of your own biology. Just because something is good for me, might not be good for you. So without you knowing how your body operates, and obviously, you know, requires test and trial. And sometimes, you know, you want to give it a shot to a few different things and see what works for you. So, you know, we always say like, question everything, question us, question it all, like, because we don't know you. We don't know your body. We don't know your history. You're the only one that is in control of this, you know, human suit we have on, and we got to take care of it.
Yeah. And that being said, it's, you know, it is a nutrient. That's the way I see it. It's a nutrient. It's like, you know, you drink a green juice, right? If you've never drank a green juice in your life, you like crap, you know, you drink a green juice, like, whoa, your body's like, hey, I have the tools necessary to do stuff. Right. And in the same way, this is impacting, you know, a master regulatory system in your body. So when you take it, and it's important to take, you know, a whole plant. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But, you know, there's 85 cannabinoids inside of cannabis sativa L. Hemp is missing one of them, THC, but the rest of them are maintained. So when you take in this plant, all of these nutrients, and all of them have a certain medicinal value to them. They go in and they do their job. And they, you know, for some people,
it's like a magic box, you know, full of tools that just goes and repairs things and fixes and eases.
And cannabis isn't the only place you get cannabinoids. Cannabinoids are in all sorts of vegetables.
It's just in a very small form. In a low dose, basically.
Cannabis just happens to have like a crazy abundance of cannabinoids, and your body just goes, thank you.
So what kind of benefits are we talking about?
Well,
we can't. I mean,
unfortunately,
because we sell this stuff, you know, by law, we can't really talk about. You know, there's a lot of studies that go into I'll share a story. So basically, there's one really popular story about a girl named Charlotte, and this kind of snowballed or started the chain of events that led us to this whole CBD explosion. Her name was Charlotte. She was having, I think, hundreds of seizures a day, or. Yeah,
about 300 a week or something like that.
And the doctors pretty much gave up hope. They were like, this is just the way it is.
I mean, she was wearing a helmet. She's in a wheelchair. You know, they're like, there's no really future for this child. It's maybe a few years that she has of life left. And that's about it. You know, we give up. We've done everything. There's nothing else we can do. So then the parents went to search for other options, right? And it wasn't easy just because, again, medical marijuana was not so readily available then. And that was about, 5 years ago or so, maybe 7. And, you know, so they were taking a risk. But when it's your child that needs help, people do everything you can in power to help them. So after they discovered, you know, the medicine, and basically they were taking THC and CBD compound together, she went from having almost 300 seizures a week to about 5.
Wow.
So now she's going to school, she's talking, she's walking, she doesn't like, she has a life of a child, of whatever 8-9-year-old child should have.
How long did it take for that to occur?
Almost immediately. There's a lot of studies right now. I mean, for probably, I would say the most researched benefit is for seizures. And Parkinson's, so neurological disorders, just because, you know, again, endocannabinoid system is one of the regulatory systems, so it literally calms your nervous system down.
Yeah, but you can actually see it in action. Like you go to YouTube.
Many of YouTube videos.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube and just do a search on, you know, cannabis or CBD and epilepsy, or, you know, any variety of conditions, you could go to scholar.google.com, type in, you know, CBD and condition or whatever, and you'll see thousands. The thing is, it's like, you know, it's hard to say, like, you know, this thing like ginkgo biloba, for example, we know it helps memory, right? With this plant, because it impacts a master regulatory system in the body, the list of potential benefits.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah.
We hear lots of stories from our customers, lots of feedback. I mean, some of the stories are just mind blowing. You know, we have people that had crazy anxiety that haven't left the house, in like 2 years. Now they go to birthday parties. Yeah. You know, the shifts, people getting off prescription meds and morphine and you name it. But again, you know, it's a very individual thing.
It's actually, on the morphine part, it's actually really interesting because it works on the same pathway as opioids. Yeah. And one of the reasons the pharmaceutical companies are going crazy, like looking at this, is because there's no side effect. With opioids, there's a side effect. There's a big side effect. There's dependence. And with this, there's no negative. There's zero side effects. So it works on the same pathway. For some people, strong, depending on your biological markers and how things are, in your body, operating in your body. It works on the same pain pathway, and it could literally work in the same way as opioids.
Okay.
It's amazing.
And I'm curious if both of you have had personal experiences with improvements, or if you're able to talk about that.
Well, we don't really, I mean, we're pretty healthy. The only thing like I would have to mention like with CBD, because that's for me. And, in the beginning when we started our company, I was we were talking to every customer over the phone. So, because we want to know who you are, who are we talking to? How can we assist you? Because maybe something like sometimes we might not have an answer for you, but we might have resources to help you find the answer. So that's why we're always like reaching out to every single person. And so far, I think we only had 2 customers that had the same thing as me, for example. Like, I don't have any health issues. So when I take CBD, for example, at night before going to sleep, 4 a.m., I'm ready to start the day. Like, it literally gives me such a crazy boost of energy. But I would say for most of our people, actually helps them with sleep issues. So, again, it kind of just goes back to show, like, it is so individual that it's just, you just got to give it a shot and see how it works for you. So
yeah, I mean, it has a little bit of nootropic effect.
Yes.
So like
liposomal.
Especially the liposomal, like it really helps with brain power. But I mean, for us, we live a really healthy lifestyle. Like, we're in Bali right now, and we're like juicing and yoga and all these things all the day. So I don't know. I mean, like, where do you go from feeling amazing?
I did hurt my hand before, and we do have, I put CBD on, and actually the inflammation did go down like right away.
Yeah,
and I had no bruise, and that thing was massive. It was literally sticking out to here. Locked it in a pool bed.
Yeah, it works. So like we're working on a topical as well that we're going to launch probably within a few weeks, I would say.
Okay, I was going to ask about that because I was like, there's a topical too?
Yeah, we're testing our formula. Like, we're literally in the final stages. So I just had a little bit. I was like, okay, will be a good test.
Yeah. Well, the skin is a layer that absorbs everything, right?
Nice. So. Yeah, that makes total sense. Like magnesium lotions and stuff like that to absorb through the skin. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's ton. It's just when we, we can talk about that for days, and the stories that we hear, unfortunately, we can say,
okay,
right, like, great answer, this is.
Yeah, we can't make
claims.
Yeah, we can't make claims, but what I would suggest, if you have, if you're apprehensive about what it is, or whether you should take it or not, just go on Google. Just do some. There's so much. Like, we live in a time that's amazing because you could literally, I mean, you could find both sides of the coin, right? Negative and positive, but you could literally go on like YouTube and see like visual accounts of this stuff, working. You watch it in action, and it's like it looks like it's magic, like.
I love it. Well, or just purchase it and try it for yourself, since it is so individual. That's really the only way you're going to know that.
Exactly. And for us, like, as far as like the business side of things and sharing this product with the world, we feel like we're stewards of it, and we want to make sure people actually get a benefit from it. And they're just not, it's not cheap because it's still in this like gray area. It's legal. We're not doing anything illegal, but there's so much stigma around it, and there's so much political corruptness around it that, it's still very gray, and there's still, like, we could be out of business tomorrow, depending on what the administration decides to do. And there's, we have course.
And there's a risk to you, I imagine.
I'm sorry, and what?
And there's a risk to you, I imagine, too, that, for offering it.
Yeah, we've been pushing against, walls.
And we've been called like, you're going into this industry? Like, crazy. Are you crazy? Like, it's so volatile that you don't know. So it's like, from a business point of view, it's kind of a stupid move because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But from,
Yeah, but hearing the stories, like they're hearing stories of and the feedback from our customers. I mean, we literally live for people's feedback, and we still also discovering like, okay, oh, it can work with this, and it can help, you know, this condition and that, like, you know, we learning as we are already, you know, delivering this medicine to communities. It's mind blowing that we still have to push through these stupid walls, you know?
Yeah. And we offer a 60-day money back guarantee, which I don't think anyone does.
Yeah,
because
that's amazing.
we want people to, so like 60 days, just give it a try. Like, you know, like.
Yeah, people's feedback and their success story is the number one thing why we are doing what we're doing. Yeah. You know,
I can tell you're so passionate.
We've seen the good and the bad and the ugly, and when it comes to like natural health and different, you know, solutions that are being pushed to people, you know. So it's like, don't wave my flag, or don't, you know, just give it a shot, right? It's like, just have people make their own choices instead of being pushed, you know, take this pill.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So what are some things to look for when you're going to purchase? How do you know if it's a quality product? Could you give us some pointers?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
So one of the most important things with hemp is that it pulls toxins. And
it's kind of like spinach and cilantro, right? It pulls toxins from the air and soil.
It's a powerful for the environment. It's an amazing plant too. So it leaves no carbon footprint that is actually beneficial for the environment. So we want to grow more of this. But point being is that it pulls toxins. And those toxins are stored in the plant. So if the plant is grown in a polluted area, or, you know, the soil's polluted, the air is polluted, and it's not grown organically, it's going to contain those harmful chemicals within the plant. So when you do the extraction, it's going to come with it. So it's important that it's grown in a pristine location. So ours is grown in Europe, in the mountains. It's clean. Everything, you know, is perfect.
And it's tested
the strains have been grown by farmers there for many years, and it's just dialed in. So, you know, we spend a lot of time looking for the best of the best growers in the best locations. So that's an important piece.
Another important piece is the extraction method. So, you know, right now, I believe there are a few MLMs going around just because we have people reaching out to us, you know, for either our customers or, you know, just kind of researching CBD. And they're like, well, look at this, you know, this is a great product. It's like, no, it's not. It extracted with alcohol. You're killing so much different things. Plus the company will never show you their test results on the product unless you go and you test the product yourself. So when we talk about extraction method, you want to make sure there's no alcohol, there's no heating involved, so it breaks down, you know, the valuable compounds and terpenes within the plant. So ours is CO2 extracted. It's a cold extraction process that still retains this whole plant integrity, that you still have all these beneficial compounds in it. You know, you want to look for that entourage effect of all the pieces in the plant to have the most benefit.
And avoid isolates.
Yeah.
So like one of the things that the pharmaceutical industry is doing is like it sees, oh, CBD is doing amazing things. Let's take CBD out of the plant and then we'll just sell CBD. But the thing is, nature is pretty smart. It knows that CBD combined with CBN and a bunch of the other cannabinoids is more powerful than just CBD. And in the same way, like, you know, people are just trying to isolate it. So they just extract the CBD and turn it into a crystal. And
its process is just so heavily processed that the amount, like the benefit is just, you won't notice as much, you know, and it still costs you a stupid amount of money. So it's like, if you're choosing the CBD you want, make sure it's the full plant extract.
And if you're taking an isolate, it actually could do harm for you in higher doses.
Right. I was going to say, something tells me if the pharmaceutical companies get a hold of it and turn it into a product, then now there might be side effects, whereas, you know, normally there wouldn't be.
I mean, right now, GW Pharmaceuticals, I believe they're already in phase 3 trials. It was their synthetic version of CBD. So that's why, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, because if all the trials passed and the government give them green light, then they're going to put everybody else kind of like, you know, sorry, you can't do this anymore because we have this. Yeah. So, but this doesn't mean better.
Yeah,
right.
Fortunately.
So whole plant. Drink a green juice. Don't just get like a chlorophyll molecule. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, this is all such good information to know and consider. And also when there's opportunities to vote and to write petitions and things like this, to be educated.
Yeah, and with this, like, you know, big hype explosion around this thing, there's a lot of charlatans, a lot of opportunists that roll into the space, and they want to sell stuff just to profit. And there's a lot of people, you know, doing a really good job marketing. And, you know, one of the things that we see pretty often is people come to us and they're like, "What's the percentage of CBD in your product?" And to that, I say, that doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. If you have a crap CBD that was extracted with some chemical, right, and it's 50% CBD in your oil, and then we have, say, 10% that was whole plant, you know, expensively extracted with CO2, maintains the integrity, that 10% in the whole will be more effective than the 50%.
Right.
So yeah, so it's, you know.
Yeah, just important thing to look for is how much CBD is actually taken per dose, right? How much is it per dose? How it's extracted? How much you're getting per bottle? Because I see a lot of companies now popping up. They're like, "Oh, we have this," but then it will last you 10 days. Like if you actually start digging their nutritional value, nutritional data, how much CBD is in it, again, how it's extracted. Also, got to always look for companies that will show their test results. Where are they getting their hemp? Because again, as we mentioned, it can be loaded with heavy metals, with toxins, different compounds that you do not want in your body at all. And many companies don't. They will never show you the test results. So we test out our hemp not only when it's still grown in Europe. We test it when it comes into US. We test it finished product as well. And we also send randomly different batches just for random testing as well.
Yeah, not only for the compounds within, but also toxic materials that could end up in it. So there's quality control going through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you know, the other thing that we typically want people to look at is who's behind the company.
Yeah,
right. True. You know, is there a face? Is there an about? You know, so it's important.
Are there actually people there? They're in the business for the right things, right? Are they there to help you? Are they there to take your money? So yeah, I mean, we've been in this industry too. So our whole goal is to help people get better. So we always, you know, show our faces, and many companies don't. So you have no idea who you're buying stuff from. You have no idea of their history. So that's an important thing also to look for.
Yeah. And also an aside that we didn't really mention is that CBD actually takes away the psychoactivity of THC. So some people that may need to take THC, they could take CBD along with it and lower the psychoactivity. Because
a lot of cancer patients, it can be a little bit hard, you know, when you're taking the high dose THC. Yes, it helps with nausea. Yes, it helps with, you know, appetite. Yes, it helps with a bunch of other things. But for a lot of people, when you're, 60, 70, like walking when you're completely high, it's challenging. I mean, you can fall, you can make more, create more damage. So CBD actually lowers that psychoactivity. So you want to have both.
I didn't know that. Okay, great. Well, you have been so informative and so educating us. I really appreciate that. Is there anything else about this conversation, CBD, or anything that we didn't discuss?
Well, I think so we talk about CBD, right? So it's an important nutritional component. And we looked into different areas of health and how we can up-level our health. And one of those things that I started this conversation with was that one thing, right? That's like, it's free and it's important. And
it's one of the most important.
Yeah, and if you do certain things throughout the day, you could set yourself up to do it really well. And that thing is sleep. And a lot of people neglect it. You know?
Yes.
It's always, I'll sleep tomorrow, I'll sleep
right.
And another thing, like you don't even know how you're sleeping. That's why, like, we have these ranges to actually tell us how much deep sleep are we getting, how much REM sleep, how good quality.
It's called an Aura, O-U-R-A ring.
Cool.
And yeah, so it tracks activity and magically it knows when you fall asleep, and then throughout the night it gathers your body temperature and heart rate and all these other things. And I guess there's like a little algorithm that knows when you're in deep sleep versus REM versus light, and it just calculates all that. So we know we're so crazy about it that we, spent several $100s on this ring to tell us how, in the morning I could see like, okay, I had enough deep sleep, I had enough REM, so I can go harder today, or I need to relax and give my body, a break today. So
I did notice that even if we do take CBD, you do get a little bit more deep sleep as well. And deep sleep is the most restorative sleep that you want to have. So for the body. So now brings us to our sleep all solution that we would like to offer to all your viewers.
Yeah, let's hear about that. Thank you.
Yeah, we have a CBD book called The Truth About CBD. We want
that way you can start doing your own research, so you can make an educated, choice, whether this is something you would like to give it a shot or not, or maybe pass it along even to people that might need.
Yeah, for sure.
Use that information.
Yeah, I think everyone should, if you can afford it, I would take it regardless of whether or not, I look at it like a nutrient. It's like a green juice. Do you drink green juice every day? Yes. Will it fix everything? I don't know. Maybe it'll fix some things, but it's a nutrient. Yeah, it's a nutrient, and that nutrient, impacts a major regulatory system in the body. So what does that tell you? It tells you that, these tools are needed to do important things, important processes in your biology. So
yeah, just swap your Starbucks coffee.
Totally, yes. Great idea.
Make your own coffee at home, good beans. Think about it. It's $5 a day that a lot of people in the US, a lot of our friends, we know that it's just like, it's that trigger thing. You just got to go get that dose, It's in a way like that addiction, that your Starbucks addiction. But save those $5 and put it somewhere that it can actually maybe turn the needle for you.
Yeah. And we have 60 days unconditional. If it's expensive for us to send out and offer that sort of thing, because for the cost of it is super high. So we want you to feel it. So if it doesn't work for you, we don't want your hard-earned money, and we'd rather you send it back.
And that says a lot about you, and that's another thing to look for when looking where to purchase, is that money back guarantee. That means a lot, even though it's costing you money every time.
Well, we feel like, if we provide a high quality product and we help people, we have a really active Facebook community of several thousand people. And it's not just about, it's about CBD, but it's not just about CBD. It's about, someone comes in with whatever, and we try to help them in any way that we can.
The whole community helps each other.
Yeah. So it's about, we care. We actually really care. We're not doing it just, just to make a profit. And, it's important to us to get out there for many reasons. I feel like, cannabis is one of those plants that needs to come back. It was stolen from us, and it needs to come back and be remembered as this amazingly powerful thing that was put here for us to consume, to use for industry. It can help environment. It's just, it's important. So, outside of, CBD, look into, talking to, the leaders and the companies that are, on the forefront of this stuff. Support those companies that are doing the good work and fighting the good fight, to legalize it. And, and there's mountainous forces against this, prisons, alcohol, pharmaceutical, these industries do not want this plant to be around.
But we will prevent.
Yes, thank you for being our David to the Goliath. Thank you so much. So where can everyone get your free gift? I know you have something amazing.
So we set up a page. If you go to SolCBD, solcbd.com/SWS gift, GIFT. So SolCBD, SolCBD.com/SWS gift. SWS stands for Sleep Well Solution. We did a bunch of research around sleep. We interviewed a handful of experts in different modalities of health, and asked them important questions around sleep and how to sleep better and why it's important. And we put together this incredible program of a collective of different minds and knowledge, and put it together in this program.
Lots of wisdom, lots of good tips and tools.
Cool.
And, so basically it's a really valuable program. We had it for sale, and we just want to share it because we feel like sleep is so important, and your people can benefit greatly from it. It's just, it's powerful information. And the CBD book will be there as well. So you could, we covered some stuff. There's a lot more stuff in the book that you might enjoy. And it's just no cost. We just want to share it and provide value. And,
hope this has been helpful.
Yes, thank you so much. Amazing free gift. There's a couple of gifts there. So I'm going to have a link for everyone. So make sure you grab that so you can educate yourself so that you can sleep better. I agree. Sleep is the number one foundational piece to optimal health. And then you can build everything on top of that. But if that's not there, then you don't really have that foundation. So thank you so much for offering that today.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you for offering this amazing platform and doing your work and, helping everyone around the world up level, which is we all need to be, right?
My pleasure. Larry and Oksana Ostrovsky, thank you so much for being here today. The website is solcbd.com. So make sure you check that out. Try the product. Just see how it works for you. And I'm also thinking of ordering a bunch of it because, like they said, you don't know how much longer it's going to be available. So just in case. And thank you so much for especially making time from Bali I know that the time difference made it a little hard. And so we really appreciate all of the education today.
No worries. We're happy to be here and share it. Thanks so much, Marcy.
Yeah.
Thank you. And to everyone watching, thank you for showing up and for taking this time to educate yourself on the Cutting Edge Convention. I will talk to you all again very soon. Have a happy, healthy day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for being part of the Cutting Edge Convention. We don't want you to miss a single valuable session. To have the entire event available to you at any time, purchase the package now before the event ends. That's when the price goes up. And watch your emails to get your next steps from Marcy.